Okay, it's ready to go live. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go. And oh, we're live already. Whoo, that was quick. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Teacher Casey, and I'm here with my friend Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing well.
Good. I say my friend, but I haven't ever met you in person, just on Messenger. So, oh, looks like you have a six contract hoodie there.
I do. I'm actually on my seventh contract.
Oh, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Tiffany. I'm originally from Louisiana in the States, and I am currently living in South Africa. And I have two small children. I actually have a 3-month-old. He turned 3 months yesterday, and I have an almost 4-year-old.
Oh, sweet. 4-year-olds are my jam. I teach kindergarten, so 4, 5, 6.
Okay, I taught preschool, kindergarten, first and second grade. And actually when I taught kindergarten, first and second grade, I looped with them.
Oh,
So it was the same group of kids that I had for kindergarten, first and second. Other than that, I always taught preschool. I love the littles.
yeah. So was it a multi-age, or did you just go from first to second, kinder first, second, or was it multi-age every year?
It was just kinder, first and second, but it was the
Okay.
same group of kids.
Right,
So the
right.
kids, I went up with them for first and second grade.
My friend is doing a first and second grade multi-age. So she has first and second graders in there. So when the second
Oh,
grade
in the
leaves,
same
she leaves with the
class.
first graders, but the new kindergartners come up. So
Okay,
you kind of know
wow, that would
half,
be interesting.
like half your class. So yeah, yeah, super neat. So what brought you to South Africa?
My husband's in the United States Navy, and
Okay,
he is part stationed with the State Department.
perfect.
And the State Department sent him to the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria, South Africa. So he works at the embassy here.
Nice. Oh, wonderful. Your pictures are beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit about Africa? Because I'm just like, I've never
Uh,
been there.
okay, so the locals, they make a big distinguish between this is South Africa. They're like, and then
Okay,
there's Africa.
right.
Um, South Africa, honestly, is a lot like the United States.
Wow.
There's Starbucks, McDonald's, there's shopping malls. It really is almost like being in the United States. However, there are also giraffes and hippos and lions. And so,
So
you know,
neat.
you can drive, we can drive about 45 minutes from the city that we live in and go on safari and go see all of the animals. When our first, and they don't call it a safari here, they actually refer to it as a game drive.
Okay.
And the very first one we went on, to hear my little boy, he would go, "Wow, mommy, it's a giraffe. Wow." And just that awestruck voice, that
Oh,
whisper of he couldn't believe he was seeing this. That made
it's
it,
like magical. Oh,
worthwhile. That yes, we live 8,000 miles from family, and we live 8,000 miles from everything we were
mhm.
used to, but it made it all worth it just to hear him be so excited about that. But South
Oh,
Africa is really just kind of like being in America. Almost everything that we are used to, we can get here,
nice.
even if it's a little different. Like some stuff is a little different, but
Right.
not really. And most people do speak English. There are 12 main languages,
Hmm.
but almost everyone speaks English. So
Oh, wow.
you can
Okay.
get around. You don't have to learn a second language to live here.
So, so this is kind of, I don't know, from my experience, is McDonald's a little bit different? Like when we were in Japan, they had like a teriyaki burger. When I was in Germany, they had like the Nürnbergers. Do they have
Yes.
something special for South Africa?
Yes, they do. They actually have a lot of different things and stuff that you would think that you could get here at McDonald's, you can't. You're like, oh, they don't have that here.
Yeah,
And then other things like they don't have sausage. Like you're not getting a sausage biscuit. There are
right.
no sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits, but you can get an English muffin. You can get an English muffin. And then there's actually a Popeyes here. It's in Johannesburg. but it's worth the drive. You can go there, but they don't have the biscuits. You have to get a roll. They don't have biscuits.
Oh,
I
biscuits
miss
are
the
the best
biscuits.
part.
I know, but they have the chicken strips. They even have
Fun.
the chicken sandwich. They have all of that. So
Yeah. So how far
it's
away is the Starbucks? Because really, that's my thing.
um there's literally a Starbucks
Nice.
maybe 3 kilometers from where I live. I can be there in like 5-6 minutes. There's a
Yeah.
Starbucks
Oh, I
nearby.
would totally be like, let's go for a walk, kids. Going in the stroller, going to get my coffee. So how are things there? Are you guys in a lot of lockdowns or anything? Because I just talked to Tim from, he's in Thailand, and I've been talking to many people, and it's different everywhere. But how is it right now for South Africa?
So we are in what's called level 4 lockdown, which is a stricter lockdown. We are not allowed to travel outside of our province.
Okay.
So we're in the Gauteng. We can't travel outside of the Gauteng
Mhm.
during this lockdown. They also don't sell alcohol during level 4. You cannot buy any alcohol during level 4 lockdown.
Interesting.
It's basically so that traffic accidents and things like that don't overwhelm the hospitals, is what
Yeah,
I was told.
makes sense.
Drinking related accidents send people to the hospital.
Mhm.
And so it's one way of keeping people out of the hospital and keeping those beds open for COVID patients. And then for a little while, all of the restaurants were closed down except for takeaway. You could get to go,
Yeah.
but now they've opened up. You can only have 50 people in the
Okay.
restaurant at one time. So you have to wait if you want to eat there, or you can get takeaway and just bring it home and eat it.
Yeah, that's what we did a lot during all of this.
We do a
Like,
lot of Uber Eats.
right? I have never tried that.
Oh,
I did
we
try
are
my first Uber like a year and a half ago. That was the first time I've ever jumped in an Uber before. So,
Well, we use Uber Eats all the time, and then the South African version of Amazon is
mhm.
called Take a Lot. And Take a Lot has a food delivery service called Mr. D. I have no idea why it's called Mr. D, but we use them to get our food delivered as well.
Oh, interesting. Like your groceries, or you can get restaurant food.
Restaurant food. You can get restaurant food from Mr. D. And then we also have quite a few grocery delivery options. Most of the grocery stores here have options for delivery. Now, Dr. Pepper is not easy to come by. It is here, but you can only get it in cans. And I love Dr. Pepper. And
Right.
you can only get it in cans. And the store that you can get it from, the main store that I get it from, they don't deliver. So I
Oh,
have to go
no.
there to
So
get
you
my
have to get
Dr.
it to
Pepper.
I think you
And
have a
most
friend in the
candy
chat.
stores have it as well.
Candy stores?
Most candy stores sell Dr. Pepper as well here.
Okay, it's kind of like a candy. Let's see. I think, is this your friend Stacy Chowla? Kaula? I'm sorry, Stacy. I'm
Hello.
not sure how to say your name, but hello. Thanks for coming. I see we have a couple people here. Say hello in the chat. How many classes did you have this morning? Let
I
us
taught
know.
10 classes this morning, and one was a student no-show.
So what are your
So free
hours
money.
there? Right?
Today I started at 9:30 a.m. and I finished at 3 p.m. And for most of my classes, I was able to do the feedback between classes, but I had 3 classes that I couldn't get my feedback finished
Yeah.
between. So
I usually try to do it during breaks too, or a no show. Yeah. Just to keep up. I used to do overnights, but I haven't done that in a long time.
yeah,
Yeah.
the hours here are much different than the hours that were in the States. We
Right.
were in Central Time Zone and Eastern Time Zone when I lived there and taught for VIP Kid. And I was used to getting up super early
Yes.
to get those hours. But
Yes.
now it's in the middle of the day.
That's what Christina said. She was on yesterday, and she was calling in from London, and she was saying the same thing. Like, the hours are so much better here.
Yes.
Stacy said, "Oh goodness, 10, just 2 over here." Yeah, Stacy, this morning I had 4. I had 4. So, do you work for any other companies?
No, well, I have a class on OutSchool.
Okay.
And I taught it one time when I was
Mhm.
still in the States, but we were about to move
Yeah.
to South Africa, and I taught the class, and then I just didn't teach it anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't open another session. I had a student, like I
Yeah.
taught the class was a successful class. And then we moved and I was pregnant and then I had a baby and
Yeah.
I just haven't opened that class back up. I feel like I should,
Right.
but I haven't done it yet. Um, it's something to think about. For
Yeah.
right now, VIP Kid is plenty for me.
Yeah. I know OutSchool originally was talking about like people living in other countries and doing classes on where they're living. Not if you've just like dropped through there before, but if you're living there and have, experience with it, they were talking about those kind of classes.
I might have to
Kim
look
said,
into
I'm
that.
here. I'm walking in place to get steps in. Oh, that sounds just like what I do. Today is my easy day. No book nook. I'm 4 to 9 a.m. and 2 to 6 p.m. with Cambly. Oh, p.m. Cambly with 9 to 9:30 before. Wow, busy, Kim.
Okay, I did actually when I started with VIP Kid, I did work for Cambly as well.
Okay,
But it's been over 3 years since I taught with Cambly. Cambly just was really reliable. If you
right.
opened it up, there was somebody there, and you got the hours.
Um,
However, I'm not an adult teacher. I don't like teaching
I
adults.
know.
So as soon as my VIP Kid schedule started booking up, I quit Cambly and just did VIP Kid. I prefer kids.
Okay, I usually say I prefer kids, and but I started with Hollow, and they do like conversational English, and so I kind of enjoy just having conversational English. So
Okay.
you just saw this. Usually I keep it so you can't see. This is like, the little rewards for the kids
Uh-huh.
during
Nice.
every this is my own little craziness. During every live, I have this in my hands. I'm always twirling it. Usually it doesn't show on camera, but I gave myself away today. So Gabrielle is here. Hey
Oh,
Gabrielle,
that
thanks
is
for
my
coming.
friend. Hi, Gigi.
Awesome. Thanks for coming. If you have questions for Tiffany, put them in the chat box, and we'll take a look at the chat here in just a little bit. What was I going to ask you? So you're traveling with family. Do you guys have any pets?
No, no pets. In
I
fact,
guess you have lots. It's
it,
Africa.
it it so the rules to get a pet into South Africa are really stringent, and then the CDC just changed the rules for people overseas bringing animals back to the United
Right.
States. And I haven't really looked at the restrictions because I don't have a pet, but I know
Okay.
it's insane. It's some crazy, crazy restrictions on
Wow.
getting the dog or cat or whatever animal back into the US. It's actually they've made it really hard, and a lot of people might end up having to get rid of their
Oh,
pets, and pets are like family members. That would be
yeah.
horrible.
That is. That is so sad. Hey, Evelyn, thanks for coming. Speaking of, um, well, we were talking about you having a baby earlier. Evelyn has a channel that has her family, and you can watch them practice reading, and she's got a
Aw.
garden, and the kids are playing in the garden and picking stuff. It's really cute. So her channel is Evelyn Joy. You might want to check that out after.
Okay.
She said, listening from my front porch swing. Oh, fun. So you had a baby 3 months ago?
Yes, I did
Oh,
in South Africa.
wow. How was that experience?
It was good. It was a little different. They do things differently here,
Of course.
but overall, it was a positive experience. It was weird to be there. It was a C-section, and it was weird because when the doctor and everybody would talk to me, they spoke in English, and when they
Right.
spoke to my husband, they would start speaking to each other. There were actually a couple of different languages being spoken in the operating room. And I heard ICU at one point, and I looked at my doctor. I was like, "I don't need to go to the ICU." She's like, "Oh no, I'm talking about somebody else."
Oh no.
And so it
That'd
was
be
it was
scary.
weird. And then nurses here are referred to as sister, and you're nervous. You're about to get an epidural. You're super nervous. And I kept thinking, this isn't a Catholic hospital. Like, what's going on? And I looked up at one of them. I said, you're not all nuns, are you? Because they kept calling each other sister, but that's what they say. They call each
Yeah.
other sister as far as the nurses. So I thought that was interesting. I learned that like in the hospital that day.
During, yeah.
Yeah, during my C-section. I was like, oh, they call each other sister.
Oh, neat. Oh, I love
So,
that.
but overall, it was a positive experience. Of course, with the COVID restrictions, my husband could not spend the night. He had to leave at 7 p.m. every night,
Yeah.
which was different from when we had our first child. But overall, it was definitely a positive experience having the
Right.
baby here.
At least he got to go in there with you at all. For a while
He
there, I don't
did.
think anybody could go
Anybody
in,
was
right?
allowed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. So glad he was able to at least be with you. If you didn't see her pictures on the thumbnail, you'll have to check that out later. She's got one of her pregnant with the zebra, right? I put that one on there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then the family. It's so cute.
So I took maternity pictures with my family, with a different photographer, and then I found this place that offered pictures with zebras, and I was like, YOLO, you only live in South Africa once, and you're only
Right.
pregnant. I'm only going to be pregnant in South Africa one time, and I was like, why not do a maternity shoot with zebras? And I did, and it was a very positive experience, and I'm glad I did it.
The
It'll be
pictures are
something I
beautiful,
remember for the rest of my life. And I felt like a supermodel. I felt like I
right?
was
You look
a
like one. I
supermodel.
was like, oh, did he go right to your belly?
Yeah,
It,
yeah. And you could tell like
they
animals
just
have that
know.
sense. Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
just know. And he kept like putting his head there
Yes.
and like nuzzling the belly. So,
Yeah. Oh,
and if
guys, you have to
anybody's
check out the
wondering
thumbnail.
why I'm wearing my jacket, it's winter here. It is not summer. It is winter. It's supposed to get down to 28 degrees tonight, Fahrenheit. It's supposed
Ugh,
to get to 28 degrees Fahrenheit tonight.
burr.
So it's
It will
actually
not
really chilly.
be. I'm in Florida, so even in the winter, it hasn't been getting that hot. I'm like, whoo. Hello, we have Toxic Team and Candy. Candy wants to know if you feel safe.
Overall, I do. I know a lot of people may have read or seen about the protests and the violence going on in South Africa recently. It's been about 30-45 minutes away from where we live. And overall, I feel safe. On a daily basis, there is crime here.
Mm.
It is kind of known as an area that has a high crime rate. However, I am from Louisiana and I equate it to going to New Orleans. If you're
Mm.
going to New Orleans, don't be stupid. Don't go
Right,
down a dark alley. Go with friends. Make sure it's daylight. Stay in areas that you should be in. Don't go to areas you shouldn't be in.
right,
There are certain parts of the city and of the area that we are told you don't go there. Well, I'm
right.
not going to go there.
You don't
But
bring bling stuff around with you, and yeah.
exactly. I did quit wearing my iWatch. I have an iWatch, but I stopped wearing it here
Ah,
just when I'm out. One of my first trips to a shopping mall, somebody did kind of approach me and looked in the stroller to like see, and I like immediately walked off.
yeah,
And I knew what he was doing, and my husband and little boy were in the bathroom, and I was waiting for them with the stroller, and he like, walked up to the side of me. And I just immediately walked off. There are security guards in all of the shopping malls, and I just started walking towards where I could
right.
get to someone. Like I said, it is known for the crime rate here. However, overall, I have felt safe.
Good. Oh, Candy said almost 300 have died now in the riots. Oh, so sorry to
And
hear that.
yes, the riots have been taking place. However, it is starting to die down. They're starting to get things under control.
Good.
It's just a sad situation all around, and it
Yeah.
was worse in some other areas than it was. I'm in Pretoria,
Hmm.
and it was worse in like Durban, and there were some hot spots in Johannesburg and things like that. So
Yeah. Is it Gabrielle or Gigi? What do I call her?
I call her Gigi.
Gigi. She said NOLA equals South Africa. Laugh out loud.
Like I said, you just you have to. It's if you're in any major city. We came here from Virginia. We lived right
Right.
outside of Washington D.C. We were in the D.C. metro area.
Mhm.
you know, DC isn't known as being the safest place in the world either. You just have to, be aware of your surroundings and pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah. Let's see. James just said, hi, just got through teaching. Hey, James, thanks for coming. James, I don't know if I mentioned him. He's in Vietnam. So he's been on my
Okay.
channel. He's also a teacher teaching abroad. So awesome. Glad to have you. If you have questions, put them in the chat or say hi. And James, how many classes did you have this morning? You probably had a bunch. Hello from Bangkok, Thailand. Hey, Tim, thanks for coming. I kind of just mentioned you in Thailand at the beginning. So awesome. Glad to have you all here. Yeah, I get sidetracked a little bit. That's
It's okay.
So what was your why for, now I can't talk. What was your why for online teaching?
So when I had my first son almost 4 years ago, we had decided that I would stay home for a year, being that my degree is in early intervention, early childhood. I know how important those first years are.
Yeah.
And then, so I stayed home for a year and we were able to live. We were comfortable. We had
Right.
food. But if we wanted any extras like vacation or putting money in savings or just,
Right.
going out on a date, there wasn't really a lot of money for that. But we knew I didn't need to go back full time. And also, I'm not a stay-at-home person per se, even though this is from home.
Right.
However, I need to be doing something.
Yeah, I was
I
the
am the
same way.
person that needs to be doing something. But we knew that my husband and I talked about it, and we knew that going back to the classroom full time wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't want the added stress of being a classroom teacher, bringing home all that extra work and,
Yeah.
data entry and just all of the extra stuff that comes with being a classroom teacher. And I have a friend who's a military spouse as well that taught for VIP Kid. And for 2 years, she had been trying to get me to teach for VIP Kid. And I kept telling her no. And then Gigi, who is watching right now, was in another country because her husband was in the Navy at the time.
Okay.
And she was looking for something. I told her, I was like, well, hey, my friend teaches for VIP Kid. Maybe you could look into it. And so she started teaching for them. Well, then I had my son, and when he was about 6 or 8 months old, I think maybe he was 8 months old when I was like, you know what, let's do this. And I applied to VIP Kid, and of course, I got the job and started doing it. And it just has been great for our family because then not long after that, we had to move to Virginia. And then not long after that, we moved to South Africa. So it's a job where I can help contribute to our family. And it goes, as long as we have the internet, I can do it. I've taught from the back of a minivan. I've taught from numerous hotels. And all of those were actually my fault scheduling things when it was like, oh, I'm going out of town that week and I forgot to close my schedule and these bookings creeped their way in. And then I realized it and was like, close all these spots. But I had to teach the ones that were already scheduled. So
I have that.
I've taught in some interesting places.
We have, we're going to Disney here in a couple of weeks, and I didn't have the dates ahead of time. So I just opened my schedule like normal. And then my husband gave me the dates. I'm like, close. So I have one this day, two this day, one this day. I'm like,
Yeah, just set up a little, something in the bathroom at the hotel.
Oh yeah, I've done it quite a bit. I take my little dino backpack. It's already ready for travel.
Oh, wow.
I have instead of a whiteboard or a dry erase board, I just put a piece of white paper and a document protector, and those are in there. So you can just kind of erase and they're easy to pack and stuff like that. And my little ring light.
Wow.
Wow. James said he taught 16 classes today, and he usually does. He's got good time zone there too. Rebecca said we just got back from DC. Awesome. It looked like you had a great time. I only had 3 VIP Kid classes, 2 trials and 1 level 6. Oh, sorry, Candy. Thanks for coming and stopping in. Rebecca said me too, to stay home while my kids are small. So let's see. Kim said, I wish I would have found VIP Kid when my kids were little. I started in 2018, but my kids are 9 soon and 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Kim, mine are 20 and 22. It's so crazy. Oh,
So I actually taught a class with my infant the other day. It wasn't by choice, it was
right.
necessity. And it worked. I made it work. I wouldn't want to do it on a normal basis,
Right.
but my husband had a work trip and he had to go to another country in Africa. And didn't realize that I had accepted a request
Oh,
and didn't, schedule it off. So it was just one class. And I was like, I can make this one class work. So I taught
right.
he was, gosh, I think he was still like 1 month old at the time. But I was like, I taught with a 1 month old, but I
Right.
literally held the bottle in his mouth with him and his bouncer and was like, just using one hand to
Yeah.
teach.
Experienced moms, I tell you what, the things we can do now, right?
Yes.
Evelyn said she's listening while cooking breakfast. Ooh, what are you cooking? I totally ran downstairs and grabbed a Jenny Craig burrito. So I'm like, Tiffany, wait, I need one more bite before we go live. Oh, super cool. So do you have a funny story or a favorite teaching moment?
So I have two that
Okay.
always just pop into my head. So he was actually a regular that I lost when I moved to South Africa because I taught him at night,
Mm-hmm.
3 times a week at 9 p.m. in Virginia every night. And that's like 2 a.m. here. And I just wasn't going to get up at 2 a.m. to teach sweet little Micah. But he cut his hair during class. He was a level 1 and he was just kind of playing with the scissors. He was like opening and shutting them, and he had the scissors by his hair, and then he accidentally
Oh
like
no.
snipped some off, and I was like, "Oh no! Like no, put the scissors down, no scissors." And I hollered for mom, and mom was super cool about it. She was like, "It's okay, it's fine." And then every class after that, he would pretend that he was going to cut his and I was like, Micah, no, you don't do that. And so he could fluently say, no, put the scissors down. Because he would repeat me. And then I have an older
I'll be right
student
down.
who's a regular that he was one day he was telling me that his grandma doesn't cook very well, and his grandma was in the room. He was like, I don't like my grandma's cooking as much as I like my mom's cooking. My grandma's cooking is okay. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, grandma's right there. It's like, does grandma not speak English? Does she speak English? He's like, oh yeah, she speaks. Because I'm thinking there's no way that grandma speaks English, because he's sitting there talking about her cooking. And he's like, yeah, my grandma taught English for 30 years in a Chinese school.
Oh no.
So she did speak English. She knew exactly what he was saying. The whole time
Wow.
I'm thinking, well, no, grandma doesn't know what he's saying. She probably
Right.
doesn't speak English. And yeah, she speaks fluent English. She knew
Oh
that he was talking about her cooking the whole time.
no. Right. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I have somebody at my door and they're just waving
Oh,
like this for me. And I have no idea who it is, but I think it's a construction worker because I'm on the street of construction right now. So I'm kind of like, we'll just let him wait for one more minute. So, hey, Nomadic Trio, thanks for coming. I am so sorry, Tiffany. I need to go check and see what
okay.
this is all about.
No problem. Hopefully they didn't bust a water line or
I
something like
know,
that.
right? I think we asked someone to come by on Saturday to give a quote, and I wonder if they were working down the street and they're like, hey, can I come now? So, but
Okie
I
dokie.
thank you so much. I think I could talk to you forever, Tiffany. It was so much fun. Thank you all in the chat. I apologize for ending this in such a crazy way, but I need to go check out what's going on, and my puppy is barking at him. So,
Oh no.
okay, Tiffany and
All
everyone.
right.